Okay, welcome to week 3 of the Pentateuch. We are almost to the halfway point this week and going into next week. I think we've had a good start. I just want to go over what we're going to be talking about this week as far as the discussion boards go and kind of give you some pointers as we're going into that. The first question you're going to have talks about the faith of Abraham and specifically how is his life story portrayed his faith. A couple of things I want to point out there just to keep in mind. One, don't draw from just one area of Abraham's life. Draw from a variety of his life. In the tendency of a lot of students is to just pick one episode and say, there it is. Well, no, one episode does not a faithful man make. I think Lot is a good example of that. And that he showed some faithfulness, but in the end, he wasn't the best. So looking at one episode of his life isn't necessarily the best. Same can be said, for instance, Judah at the beginning of his life, not very good, but by the end, very good. So looking at the entirety of Abraham's life is what I'd like to see. Also, keep in mind also that not everything that Abraham does is something to be seen as an example, as a positive example. Sometimes Abraham does do bad things. Sometimes he shows a lack of faith. Don't just, we tend to say, well, Abraham did this, therefore it must be okay to do. We do that with a lot of the figures in the Bible. We need to remember that God is the only true perfect hero in the Bible. He's the only one that never does anything wrong. Everyone else does. There's no perfect characters. Well, Jesus, obviously. But other than that, there's no perfect characters. Everyone is a flawed hero, even the most heroic of heroes. And sometimes their flaws are shown to teach us what not to do. So keep that in mind. And as we look at the Joseph episode, which is the other question, just again, keep in mind, what is that episode really trying to teach us? Draw from the entirety of the episode, even the Judah narrative that's often skipped, the Judah and Tamar narrative. And I would encourage you to read the Joseph narrative, not just as a story of Joseph, but as a story of Joseph and his brother Judah as the two main characters there. That might give you some insights on what the author is intending us to get from that story.